Hey guys, EvilOso here, and today I'm going to analyze my draft for UBC Season 2. If you didn't already know, I tried doing this a couple days ago, and it didn't exactly go very well. I spent about 4.5 hours on it. I had videos, I had stats, it was really good, and I was proud of myself. But I turn off iMovie to go take a break, I come back, and it's gone, it's deleted. It says videos are missing, nothing was missing. I'm pissed, and then I can't remake any of it. It's too late to restart. The whole thing put me in a bad mood, and if you didn't see my other video explaining what happened, it's now private, but if you did see it when it was up, you would know that I was very upset at the time. But it took me a couple days to cool off, and now I am going to make a lesser version of that amazing video. Unfortunately, I don't really have the time or the skill level, or the patience again, for that matter, to remake the video I already had. So instead of using videos, showing base stats and stuff, I'm just going to show you a photo of the Pokemon, and I'm going to tell you why I picked them. Now, for my first pick, I needed to grab defensive power. Every time in a league, I find myself using one of my tier 3 or 4 mons every game for defensive purposes because I drafted too hyper offensively. And I love playing defensive. And that was a problem for me in a lot of leagues. So, for my next pick, I wanted to grab one of the best defensive mons in OU who was almost kicked out of OU for being so awesome. I drafted Mega Sableye. Mega Sableye is amazing. It is so bulky on the defensive and specially defensive sides, just like Mega Sableye. Not Mega Sableye, Cresselia. It manages to take one of the best typings in the game, Dark and Ghost, which before was weak to nothing, but now does have a 2x weakness to Fairy, which I did patch up the entire game. This thing has 1 weakness, and if this thing gets hurt it can still take a Fairy hit, but I would like for this thing to be taking only neutral hits the entire game. This thing has great access to Will-O-Wisp to slow down offensive opponents. It also gets Knockoff and Foul Play, which are both very good stab dark type moves. Shadow Sneak is also an option. As well as pretty much running any other status move it gets, as well as the Recover. So this thing will take you forever to kill. On my team, this thing will be known as Gemini. If you couldn't guess from that, my entire team will be based around the Zodiac, much how Verd's team is based off wrestlers. So yeah, on to the next pick. For the next pick, I needed a physical or special attacker that complements Sableye and manages to be able to take on its weakness of Fairy types. No, I did not grab a Poison or Steel type so early, but I did grab something that resists it. I grabbed the infamous Victini. Victini is one of those Pixie Pokemon that has a base 100 stats throughout everything. That gives you so many options with Victini. Some of my favorite sets include Choice Banded, Choice Scarf for when you're just not fast enough, Choice Specs for when you're running special moves like Heat Wave, Assault Vest when you want to be specially defensive, Lumberry so you don't get status, Leftovers so you can get some recovery in, and a lot of other items that really do benefit this guy. Victini will be known as Aries on my team. It is going to be my team captain, because I was born in April, so I do rep Aries. And I feel like Victini, unlike Sableye, has a lot of personality with its whole Konnichiwa thing. And I think it will be a good addition to the team. And V-Create is such a monster. Oh my god. Next pick, I 100% wanted a Fairy type. My original plan was to draft Clefable, but unfortunately that got taken before it could get to me. This pick is really good. It is known as one of the top threats in OU. I think this thing will definitely complement my team a lot since it gets Defog. It is weak to Rocks itself. I need to make sure Rocks not get up with Victini and this being weak to it, but I feel like it's definitely a great addition. So I picked Togekiss. If there would be a word to describe Togekiss, it would be Paraflinch. You know what Paraflinch means? It means the following. Using either Jirachi, Shaman Sky, or Togekiss, or for that matter, any other Serene Grace Pokemon. using Thunder Wave, and then using one of your flinching moves, Air Slash or Iron Head. This, in turn, will allow your opponent to rarely be able to hit you, meaning that these things are, well, pretty powerful. Shaman Sky being an Ubers, and Jirachi as well being an OU, these things really do take the cake for some of the most powerful things in the metagame. Paraflinching used to be more powerful in Gen 5, with unfortunately things like Jirachi now gaining weaknesses to Ghost and Dark. It's not what it used to be. But I still think Paraflinch, Togekiss, or on my team Virgo will be a powerful addition. When in the draft, I realized I needed to start building a core. If you don't know what a core means, it's having one good specially defensive mon and one good defensive mon that can carry your team and take all kinds of hits that are dished out. I really know that I need to grab something just as annoying and bulky as Mega Sableye, and this thing usually gets taken second, third round in most drafts, and I was surprised it was still around. But I was also, pleasantly surprised. It is power, I would say, and thanks to it being one of the only mons that can use Rest, Sleep, Talk effectively, which unfortunately I'm not very good at using, but I still try my best. I drafted Suicune. What words come to mind when you think of Suicune? Usually very bulky, very annoying, very hard to kill, and considering it only has 2 weaknesses, usually the end of your game. Suicune usually uses the Rest Talk strategy, using Rest and Sleep Talk, as well as Scald or Calm Mind or Toxic, depending if you're facing an opponent with more Stally Mons, or if you wanted to actually set up yourself. Calm Mind Suicune is power as well. Once Suicune gets a few Calm Minds off, not a lot of things are going to be able to take those Scalds. Unfortunately, Suicune does get walled by a few things such as grass types. It can take electric types though, but not grass types, as well as anything with water absorb, which is quite unfortunate for Suicune. I still think Suicune or Aquarius will be one of the most valued members on our team. For my next pick, I wanted to grab a dragon type. It was pretty simple, so I ended up grabbing one of the best dragon types in the UU tier. It's really good with Scarf, Bands, Life Orb, Lumberry, whatever. It's going to be known as Leo on my team, because I feel like it's the most scary thing, as well as something that is pretty awesome. So I ended up picking Haxorus. Haxorus is a great mon who can be used to Dragon Dance setup, or can be used as a great Outrage or Dragon Claw mon. The problem with Outrage is if you do get locked into it, it is quite inconvenient when somebody gets a fairy type, but I still feel like once fairy types go down, this thing will wreck shop. A lot of items, like I said, used are Life Orb for just straight damage. If you're willing to risk a little bit of health, Choice Band or Choice Scarf if you need that extra speed or a little bit of extra attack. Lumberry if you're worried about getting confused and you think that's going to be a big issue. Lumberry definitely will help, as well as a lot of other items too. Haxorus is a great dragon, and Leo, or Haxorus, will be very effective on my team this season, or at least I hope. Haxorus not helping my fairy weakness, I wanted to grab something that could easily take on fairies. And another more defog support would be great. I know I do have Mega Sableye, but I really am worried if that one Stealth Rocks gets set up, my team won't be doing very good. So even though this thing is once again weak to Stealth Rocks, I feel like it's power, and it's gonna work very well for us this season, or at least I hope so. So I ended up grabbing Pisces or Crobat. Now Crobat gives us another fairy killer. Mega Sableye is weak to one type. One type can hit this thing for super effective damage. And I want to make sure that type will never live to be able to hit him with a Draining Kiss, Moonblast, whatever. That's why I ended up grabbing Crobat. Once again, it does provide another defogger. This wasn't my original plan. Once I picked up Togekiss, I'm just like, screw this, and decided to keep it on my team. I think it will be a valuable member, and it's pretty good, to be perfectly honest. It has the defog support. It gets Roost, so it gets its own healing. I just think it'll be a very strong member, even if it doesn't seem like the smartest pick right at the moment. Yeah, for my next pick, I wanted a really fast fighting type who could also hit hard and as well as keep hazards off the field. That really limited it down to 3 fighting types, the Hitmons, and I ended up going with the latter of Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee is a great mon. It rapid spins. It also can use the normal gem on Burden combo, which will raise its speed. Scarf is also another reliable option. It gets priority. It also gets blaze kick, which surprises me, but it's still going to be a very good move for coverage. Hitball Lead really does fit into my team. I know it is another thing weak to fairy, but considering the entire game I've been patching up a fairy because I'm not really that worried. Unfortunately, after this, I had to leave. And I had personal things to attend to. And I'm sorry if I kind of left things loosey-goosey, but I left. So my next 3 picks, which were as follows: Magnezone, in this order, Roserade, Typhlosion, and then Magnezone, ended up getting changed out for these 3 mons thanks to picking up these free agents. So that's just more of an FYI. For my next pick, once again, I wanted something good. This thing was one of the best things. This thing is one of the best things. It's really good. It was sitting on free agency, which surprised me. But I guess a lot of teams just didn't really want to use this style of play, considering it's a little inconvenient and hard to set up. So I ended up grabbing the speedy electric type Galvantula. This thing is awesome. Sticky webs are amazing. It slows down things like Mega Lopunny, Superior, things that are really fast and are going to be huge threats in the league. As well, thanks to having Compound Eyes, Thunder becomes a move that you can safely use over Thunderbolt more often. It also gets Volt Switch, which is the great move if you want to use a pivot, and Bug Buzz. I don't see this thing coming too often, but when it does, it is going to be a threat to be reckoned with, especially if they don't have a spinner or a defogger. Originally, this pick was Typhlosion, and since I already have a fire type, it was kind of useless. But yes, this pick is a psychic type, and I do already have a psychic type, but this thing is a lot different. It is really good, and I picked UBC. Another great defensive mon to add to my core, along with Crobat. Victini can be defensive, Suicune, and Mega Sableye. This thing will be amazing. But something my team doesn't have is a Cleric. Cleric provides wish passes for things that can't heal themselves, for example, Victini. This thing, even though it's weak to the same types as Victini, Ghost and Dark, it will be able to pass wishes into a lot of things, and it has knockoff support, and it can take hits because it's actually, well, like I said, it's a wall. After UBC, I was drafted Magnezone. Well, you're probably figuring I didn't keep it because I just grabbed Galvantula, right? And once again, this thing was sitting on free agency, and it is one of the best things in OU. Almost could be in Ubers. I ended up grabbing Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is an awesome steel and grass type that is really only weak to fire. I know it's weak to other types, but it can pretty much take those hits great. Great defenses, once again, adds to my core, which is what I've been talking about the entire time. And Ferrothorn can dish out, put up Stealth Rocks, have them Leech Seeds going down, Power Whip, and Gyro Ball. It's actually not the worst offensive Pokemon in the world, but, you know, it's Ferrothorn. We're nearly at the end. That's great. For my next pick, I needed something else to grab Stealth Rocks as well as a Rock and Crown type, considering those were the main types I was missing for my team. Realizing there wasn't that much left, considering all I needed was a tier 5, my pick was just okay. I ended up grabbing, well, I didn't, but Adam did, grabbing Rhydon. Rhydon is great with its Eviolite. It's also really good considering one person drafted Mega Charizard Y and one person drafted Mega Charizard X. Considering it walls them pretty good. If you just put, even though it doesn't have the best special defense and HP grasses or even HP waters do pretty much wreck it, it can still take them fairly well if you put enough EVs as well as your Eviolite. That's why I think, well, you know, Rhydon's pretty awesome. I'm going to tell you about how I plan to, how I'm going to upload videos and stuff for the season. I have a bad screen recorder, and me and Adam are trying to work it out, and it looks like I can't find any solution at the moment. And my mic's broken, so yeah, it was broken, but it's still a little iffy with my screen recorder. So I don't think I'm going to be able to record matches. My plan, though, on the other hand, is going to be to quickly give you a team builder every week, and then link the match that I had in the description below. Then the next week I will quickly recap that match as well as do my team builder, link the match. It's like a cycle. So you guys can show your support by putting hashtag WeViolNation in the comment section below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.